questions. Whether you're looking for relationship advice or curious about the art of intimacy, Roma's got you covered. Pleasure Pulse, every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Only on Television Radio 96.1 FM. Don't miss out. Your sex education journey starts this Tuesday with Roma as your guide.
This is RIZ Radio, the family station. Our time is now 13 minutes, moving away from 8 o'clock. And first, we must apologize for the late start of the Pleasure Pulse, but I guarantee you'll get your full hour tonight. So let's say good night to Roma and company.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pleasure Pulse. I'm so excited to have you join me here tonight, especially because this week is Valentine's Week. And so I have my guests here tonight who have come to talk about this season of love, from a different perspective, from a maybe newish perspective to all of you. Or to some of you. But as usual, before we get into tonight's conversation, especially considering the late start, I'm going to give you some time to let everybody know that Pleasure Pulse is live, and then we will come back and jump straight into tonight's conversation. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Pleasure Pulse. You're tuned in to another Tuesday night's episode where we are talking all things, some things sex tonight. Not all things tonight, but some things, as we usually do on a Tuesday night. I'm so happy to have you join me tonight on ZIZ online, on Facebook, on YouTube, on radio as well. And I'm joined here by a full house. Not my fullest house, but almost my fullest house. And as usual, I'll allow my guests to invite my guests to introduce themselves first, so we can start.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Matthias Opre, the National AIDS Program Coordinator in the National AIDS Secretariat in the Ministry of Health.
And I am Lucine Pendleton Vaughan, Health Educator in the National AIDS Secretariat, Health Educator, Counselor and Rapid Tester in the Ministry of Health.
Yes, and I'm Joseph Richardson. I'm with SKN Care. I'm a HIV counselor, tester.
And my side chick.
Sometimes.
When you say side chick, you mean on your side or more than that? Okay, don't get involved. Okay, I won't get involved. So Valentine's Day is coming up. Before we jump into tonight's conversation, feelings about Valentine's. That's a surprise question. I know, I wanted to catch you off guard. What are your feelings about Valentine's Day?
I wonder if I should begin. My feelings, ambivalent. I plan to celebrate the love that my late husband left me with. This is the first Valentine's Day without him. Feeling a bit mixed feelings. I won't have him, but we've had some good times together. The love was real. It was strong and authentic. Everything about it, the emotional aspect and the physical and the spiritual, but the physical was oh so good. So I'm going to celebrate that.
I think Valentine is personally I consider every day to be a special day, right, to myself and to my loved ones. It's just a day to me that love and passion should be expressed, right? And yes, we acknowledge the fact that people see it to be a special day. So as I am not an island in an island or one man in an island, I have to consider other person's perception about the day and also compromise to appreciate the beauty of the day.
Well, for people who are older, I suppose Valentine's is a bit different. For some people, the day might even come and go without even much of a recognition that it actually happened. But in my case, because of what I do, I would be very aware of Valentine's Day, and I could anticipate the post-Valentine's Day events that would I would get to know about. I would have many panic-driven calls. I would have many requests for testing, and it would be after Valentine's Day. Trust me, I would. It would be a complete experience of Valentine's from the viewpoint of my clients.
Okay. So the senior reached out to me wanting to have this conversation today. I think we had a similar conversation last year around Valentine's Day as well. I know this is one of the Ministry of Health's bigger moments because, especially since it's Valentine's Day, it's very romantic love focused and not inevitably, but kind of as a result, very sex focused. So tell us what are we talking about tonight? What is the context in which we are having this conversation going into another Valentine's Day? What's the state of the union when it comes to sexual health and our population sexual health? And anybody else can jump in as well.
Well, I am hoping that tonight we are going to be talking about sex in the city. The real truth of it is that Friday there would be some people who are going to be celebrating love. There are going to be some people who are romanticizing love, who are drooling love, and there are some people who will be making love. And I just want to set the stage here that this is not a religious show. I was on the radio this week and I got some calls, and unless people go back to God and what God says, things will never be right. And we are saying that yes, the Bible is our guide. We are a religious society, and we know that sex was ordained for within the confines of marriage, but we still have to speak about our reality. So the reality is that men are from Mars and women are from is it Jupiter, they say? Venus. And men give love to get sex. So you find that a man would say, I love you, and would do acts of love to receive sex. And women are the opposite. We give sex to get love. And so we just want to flesh it out this evening. What is it about love and Valentine? And is sex even a part of it?
Okay.
I believe the primary reason for Valentine should be expression of one's true intent in terms of feeling for the person. Sex is not a driving force because people only just go for that, right? But if at all it happens, it should be an addition to an expression of love, and not just that alone. So Valentine should be in fact, in my opinion, is a day where people really express, I care about you, or increase the way at which they express their love. Perhaps they have not been saying it a lot or as much as they should, but that particular day they express themselves even much more, in acknowledgement of who they have. And if sex happens, it happens, but it's an opportunity to even quicken or strengthen the intimacy between two or more persons.
Yes.
What about you? Shall I call you Joseph?
Yes, that would be appropriate. As to the origins of Valentine's Day, I must confess I'm not too into, I did not do my research on it, but principally now it is commercialized extremely. I was just listening to a news item about the number of flowers that get into the United States, mainly through like 90% of it comes through the port of Miami. And flowers, as I see Lucine has one here, is an expression, the gifting of a flower is an expression of love and caring and concern, right? Don't get carried away. That is the precursor to what I think we're going to end up talking about, the actual sex and lovemaking, and our efforts as a team here to probably remind our audience of, with all the fun, and sex is fun, that we should be mindful and exercise due caution and plan ahead for our sex events, if you want to call it that.
Communication is very important, and as we talk about setting the stage, there are just some things that must come first. You have to communicate before you copulate. What are some of the things that we should be speaking to our partners about to ensure that we are on the same page? Having that communication, what do we expect in our relationship? And I would say to my couples, one, setting boundaries. What do you want that relationship to look like in the night? And we are speaking specifically to those who plan on making love on Valentine's Day. What are we talking about? When I say boundaries, there are some zones that are safe zones. There are some zones that says don't enter. There are some zones that says tread softly, go slowly. And there are the stoplights. The green light is a go. The red is a no. What are we really speaking about?
I think when it comes to that, in terms of the communication, it's important to express what you are about sexually, and not everybody is very open to explore or to experiment. So that's why that conversation is very important, because if one of the party is more experimental and the other one is not, and we're like, hey, listen, where the hell are you going? Right? But if there is a conversation before that event start happening, we know that we are in the same phase.
Right.
We are in agreement on
whatever happens, right? Or this is what we expect to happen, because nobody wants to really be surprised at our time. All right, we just want an adequate, efficient communication that will actually make it work smoothly instead of having it more of a difficult challenge moment when you're trying to be intimate.
Well, that throws out the whole concept of spontaneity, you know, where like we get together and we, as
Like Sex and the City. Very
yeah, you know,
you meet somebody and then you just
That's where the problem lies. We meet, we just greet, and we
And
sex.
then we are in heat.
Yes, and we then hit. That's it. Instead of we meet, we converse. We get to understand ourselves. And then the action happen. And with that, now we can make well-informed decision on what we are doing. And I know what not to do. It's like, you know, you have a partner. Some people like to be tickled. Some people like to be kissed in the neck. Some people like to be kissed on the face. And some don't like the neck at all. My wife don't like you kissing her ear and the ear. I don't like the issue. Kissing the ear is a problem. Say, no, I don't like that. So we have to have a conversation on that to really create an environment where, you know, it's still spontaneous, but we have an understanding to make it even smooth.
Doctor, before we get into the real meat of things, because you see, doctor don't start to kiss the neck, because people tend to get so caught up in the moment, we forget a very important C after communication, consent. Because I am consenting to go out with you, I may consent to kiss you, and you take that in your head space to mean, hey, if
This
my
time-
partner is kissing me, then it means that she or he likes it, and then I can go further. You have to, do you know that for every stage you have to seek consent? And even if you have given your consent prior to, you have the right to say no now. That's important.
And the no should be respected.
Of course.
You know, because but hey, listen, it's very tricky. You know, we have to be very straightforward here.
And I almost wanted to go back to spontaneity because it's an interesting, it really does throw, you know, a spoke in the wheel of
Yes,
these
indeed.
conversations. How do we have like safer sex practices? Is it possible to have safer sex practices?
It is.
Even in spontaneity.
Oh yeah, in that aspect.
Tell me about.
So because if you look at it actually, if it can be spontaneous when I know you already, you know, in terms of I have a conversation with you. We know what we like and what we don't like, what I can do or what I cannot do, or what I should do and what I should not do. So the next time I can be spontaneous because I know. But the first time I don't know, the first time just having a conversation with you and everything, I just feel I can just grab you and start kissing you. That it could be a
yes,
call
you
for.
can end up with a slap.
Yes.
Tell me what you think about spontaneity, Uncle Joseph. Well, what were you going
It
to say?
is in the moment you have your significant other with you, and it's a planned time of seeking pleasure and enjoying each other's company at a sexual level.
Okay.
Right. And but now that we've been told about consent for each level, there are some of us who might get turned off by the when the hand gets moved from the leg, and there are some of us who might get turned off to the point where we lose physical interest, where everything goes down and there's no way of getting back there, you know?
And that's okay.
Well, I suppose it is okay if we are flexible enough to adjust, and maybe that would be enough. Encouraging activities would be involved so that business we may get interested again to the point where we can continue with our love making, but
Spontaneity is in two phases. The first phase is I know you. We are partners, right? It's easy to be spontaneous then. But this is Valentine's. Some people get
exactly.
to know
Are
people
you
first
going
time.
to do anything special for,
That is
for
when,
Valentine's?
exactly.
Right,
That's
because-
when I know
yeah.
you. We are good to go. But I don't know you from the beginning. I'm just getting to know you. All right? I can't be that spontaneous. Also, they are very non-verbal approval. That's why you need to also observe. And verbal approval. There's some things, if you start touching the person, all right, and they're moving your hand, that alone tells you, hey, listen, I am not interested or I don't want it. So if you keep pushing, that means you're crossing your boundary, all right? But that's my perception. What do you have to say?
I brought up this because I want our audience to understand that not because you know me yesterday, last time, I might have said yes, but I have more knowledge now. I have a client who is very loving, but Valentine's is coming, and she would like her partner to respect the fact that she now wants to use condoms. How does she introduce that into the relationship and feel respected and understood for what it is? So we did say to start the communication. First thing I want men to understand that there are some turn-offs and there are some turn-ons for some women.
For some women.
For
yes.
some women, we see men as our protector. I'm afraid of centipede. And if one comes in my house, I always like her to know I have a man around. So my husband, my sons, my brothers, men are generally by nature protective. And so this Valentine, we want you to protect your pleasure. Protect your woman. Protect yourself. And condom use is very important. You know something? I have been hearing, Doc, about the rising in STIs. And nobody wants it. But funny, when I ask, do you use a condom every time? Nobody is using condoms every time either. So we are encouraging persons to have them. You talk about spontaneity, but we are not burying our heads in the sand. You know it is Valentine's. You are speaking to somebody. It might be a possibility that something might happen. Be prepared. So the first step is to have your gear ready.
Well, maybe we can learn something from the people who have sex as their business. Because, as Lucine and Dr. Offray would be aware, because it's their business, they are very strict with the rules when it comes to sex. I understand now you can't even get a BJ without a condom being on.
Wow.
Yes. So, I mean, by the way, I'm learning all these through my clients, at my age and stage. I have.
Yes, because actually, when we speak of Valentine's, the first love is to love God. Outside of God, the next person is you.
Yourself.
Is yourself. And so you have to love yourself enough to protect you. So we are saying, Doc, are we prepared? Are we prepared for Valentine's? What are some of the pushback we get from condom use in our quest to enjoy our partner and still on the other side be protective? One, I've heard some persons say, why are we using condoms? It means that you don't trust me. Tell me something about that, Doc.
I think when people start feeling or have that perception about if I don't trust you, so why am I using condom? It's only you one I'm with. That alone shows that you're not health conscious.
Mm-hmm.
That alone shows that you are not, you don't love yourself enough to want to protect yourself. So if you don't love yourself enough to want to protect yourself, how will you protect me? Love should be expressed in different forms. By protection, as Shirley indicated, we are more protective. It's about I protect you, you protect me. That's why we say that, what's it called, prevention equals affection equals protection. So for me to show that I have this affection towards you, I'm willing to protect you by ensuring that I condomize, I protect myself. And with that alone, it shows that, hey, listen, I am not concluding about you, I am not judging you, but I'm just showing that I care enough about myself and about you to make sure that both of us, we are safe.
I like that. And that is a big turn on. I had a client who that says, I had already made plans with this man, and he was in the health field, so I trust him to have everything to protect me. My client says when she reached there and she realized that the stage was set and the pants were dropped and nothing was there, she said, I put back on mine and I take off nurse. I said, good for you. Set your boundaries and stay within them. So one is making sure that you are prepared. Yes. So even if your partner falls short, you are prepared.
Yes, so that lady left one very frustrated man.
That's okay. He will get over it. I'm sure he took a cold shower.
And both of them can get prepared. It's not just the man that get prepared. Mm-hmm. A woman can walk with a condom as well.
Yes,
that's why we have
we're going to talk about that. Yes.
Condoms.
Yes.
We're going to get into that.
Choices.
But since we're along that line, because of course in our business we hear about some people who genuinely being allergic to latex condoms. And I think in a previous show, we spoke about the availability of those condoms. Okay. Yes. So,
and before we reach that act, so we already said that to make sure that we have our protective gear. Mm-hmm. Doc, if you're going on the street, I see you in a motorbike, you're going riding. You have to protect your head. Protect your head, eyes. Protect your head. Then we have to ensure with your helmet, or you will meet hell. All right, we're going to discuss that later. Doc, another thing is that you should have your rider's license. We should not be out on any street going for any drive, any ride without your rider's license. And for us in the National AIDS Secretariat, we mean that you should have that card showing that you were tested. Yep. Your status is actually none of my business if you're not doing anything with me. But once you want to drive on this road, you have to show your rider's license. See it here? It has the date you got tested. It has the result and everything. This is just for you, eyes. I want to also add that it's personal. All that this says to me when I ask you for yours is that you are a responsible man. Mm-hmm. That's good. It means that you care enough about you, your health, before you can care about me. But Doc, what if I see on that card negative? Is that an okay? Because I've heard some persons, man, he does test regularly and he negative, so the two of us clean, so we could go.
That is actually a very big mistake, because you can actually have what we call a false negative. False negative not because the test is not done right, but because you maybe have been exposed, but you are under the window period. And it takes about 2 to 3 months for the body to produce a protein, which we call antibody, that our tests can detect whether they're positive or negative. In other words, if I am sexually active, unprotected, a month ago and I come and do the test, or right after Valentine, I come and do the test, it will show negative even if I'm being exposed to HIV. That's why we encourage that. Even on the card, it says it expires 3 months. So every 3 months, you're expected to get tested.
Go ahead.
And also, this card is specific to one STI. And that is HIV
only.
only. At this time, we are only authorized to test for with a rapid test for HIV. There are other STIs going around, and there appears to be a surge in some of these STIs. So we speak mainly of HIV, but we have to be cautious about the others that are out there, because there are some of us who can be HIV negative, very HIV negative, and be very positive in other areas. And I have found that too often to be comfortable.
And the thing about it is that some of those STIs also are not curable. All right. Of course, you can treat them to make them recessive, but they are not curable. All right. So, like we have herpes. Herpes 1 and 2 is there's no cure for it, but there is treatment for it. All right. So, as my colleague rightly indicated, there are other STIs out there. Yes, you can be negative for HIV. Are you really certain that you're negative for others? That's a question you need to ask yourself. That's why, yes, it seems okay, but you have to ensure that you protect yourself and also take other precaution measures to ensure that you are truly safe.
Another thing about this rider's license, Doc, sometimes if the person is truly negative, by the time they take that test, they would have gone through some highways and byways in some alleys. And by the time they reach you, they would have crossed over from negative to positive. And so the card would still be showing what? Negative. So this rider's license is just to give you an idea, but it doesn't give you a license to go and have unprotected sex. Like any other license, when you get your actual driver's license, you still must wear your seat belt. And so with this rider's license, you must wear your seat belt. Okay?
And also there are other signs. You want to follow the acronyms, trust me. So there, if you notice, even on the street, when you have your driver's license, you put on your seat belt. There are other rules and regulations that have to be adhered to. The traffic lights, the pedestrian walkers, to ensure that even the lines on the road, how to ensure that you are safe. Same thing applies to sexual, relationships.
And how close you must drive behind the other person.
So all of that we have to put into consideration. Life, it's, even in medicine, we can see that our daily life actually relates to how medicine is being, carried out. So protecting yourself in all aspects, getting yourself well informed is very important.
And even if you are using a vehicle that's not yours, there's still some terms and conditions that apply. You're renting, you got to sign up for it and know what you're getting into, right?
Exactly. And you get into accident, you pay for it.
So we were talking about the rise in STIs, and we already said that it is lack of condom use. But why people have a problem in using condoms? What are some of the reasons people give for not using the male condom? And I have a viable option. I want to tell you all about it. But first, tell me why people don't use the male condom, and then I'll fix it for you.
Yeah, y'all tell me based on...
These are men,
Yeah, and you're being men, but in addition to that, some of the reasons that you've gotten from your clients.
Most men say they don't actually feel it, doesn't feel that excited.
And sorry, I just want to say, and not just men, because obviously there are women who also dislike using condoms. So just talk about, reasons you've gotten from any gender
Okay.
clients. Yeah.
For most men, they will say they don't really feel it. It's not like, and they prefer going skin to skin because it reduces the pleasure, all right? And some would say, for the female, they said, because I am not. Okay, let's just deal with
So
the male
one
first.
at a time.
Yes.
So then we are saying that it is the
reduces
feel.
the feeling.
Yes, and we have the female condom that is very, very thin.
Mm-hmm.
It is made out of polyurethane. It's very, very thin, and it actually feels like skin to skin. So when they say I'm not feeling anything, I don't like the feel of that. I usually ask my client, so how would you feel now if I tell you that you're HIV positive? And that time, I have their test result there, I said, how would you feel if I tell you that you're HIV positive? And they start shaking. So I said, that's what I want you to do. Don't think just about that physical feeling for the here and now. A little 10 minutes, 15 minutes of pleasure, is it worth it for living with HIV
Lifetime.
for the rest of your life? So we already say that I am going to knock down that. You can't feel with that, but I'm telling you that the female condom takes care of that. Anything else?
Yeah,
hear
especially
them?
for
Yes.
Male?
For males, they are the thinner condoms. And there's a product out which has been advertised quite a bit. It's called Skin,
Yes.
which is marketed by Farm Care. That product is slightly more expensive than the standard condom, but it is very thin. You can get it in the sizes, so you have the different sizes for the different sizes, and it's also of a different material, so you don't have the issue of sensitivity to latex.
Right.
It's a non-latex condom.
Right.
So the sensitivity to latex is taken away by the use of that condom.
Skin too.
And yeah,
Yes.
and so it benefits both the male
And
and
the
the female
female.
who may have sensitivities
Yes,
Very
allergic,
good.
allergic
To,
to the latex.
And the female condom also. So we are giving the public no excuse for not using condoms. So one, they said that it feels cumbersome and it feels thick, and we are saying that this, along with skin, is very thin.
And
So
other
it feels like
varieties.
skin to skin. Another thing came up, the allergy to latex. Skin takes care of that. And the female condom takes care of that.
True.
Doctor, anything else?
We have
You hear them?
spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Some people, we spoke about spontaneity. People just feel like it takes a while, take away, that spontaneity feeling. Before I have to take the time and go
To
look
take
for a
it
condom or take it off and
turn on the
and turn
lights
on
to
the light
reach
and
for the
yes, that alone can, it's like a short circuit.
break
Yes.
the
So we want
The flow.
of the
Yes.
current of that action to ensure
Yes,
that it's smooth.
doctor. I understand that. I tell you, I have everything here. Well, the female condom takes care of that. This could actually be introduced up to 8 hours before. So ain't no breaking and no stopping of no circuit. You put it in and you are ready for the next 8 hours. Are you going for 8 hours, doc? Don't answer me. But I am saying that this could be introduced up to 8 hours before. So that takes care of
The
that.
other thing we found out, that we've heard people saying that it breaks easily.
yeah.
The condom breaks
Yeah,
easily.
I've made a note here about lubrication because that is a key element of sex in general, right? Because there's natural lubrication,
Of course.
Yes.
right? Because and actually it goes both ways. A man emits a lubricant,
Yeah.
but not in very large quantities. But a female's give off
Produce
quite a
more.
bit of a lubricant, natural lubricant.
Wait,
But-
wait. Before you go, I want to emphasize here, this Valentine's Day, especially, you have to take care, and that's why it's called foreplay. Don't rush the brush, or else you're going to get dab. Take time to do at least 4 things before you get into the meat,
you
before you're
play.
having sex. And so, 4 things at least is foreplay. So, Dr. One, kissing, Roma, touching. Hey.
I have no idea.
You just say use your mouth. You just say you like oral examinations. Yes, and the finger and the whispering.
Use your
of,
senses.
Right, all the senses. So take time so that you can get the best out of the experience and you will get more, because when a woman is very much aroused, then doc, she will take you to the moon and back. So go ahead now, Ice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lubrication.
But lubrication, if it's with a partner who you know, then it would be pre-established. Well, that okay, the experience is that my partner runs dry. Depends upon how long the
You want to
activity.
tell me something? Or if you're in menopause like me, go ahead, Ice.
Yes.
Sometimes people just
It
agree,
varies in
right?
people, even when
You
it
know,
varies in people.
so lube is not just for MSM experience. Lube is for male, female.
everybody.
It's for everybody.
Very good.
So when you see somebody come to the drugstore to buy lube, and remember again, I must make this point very strongly. Go and get water-based lube.
I like that.
Water-based
I
lube.
like that.
Because I get knocked for 6 when in this day and age when we have been pounding over and over again about using oil-based lubes like
So
baby oil?
baby oil and Vaseline and all them kind of things.
Yes,
yeah,
eyes.
which are of the same material of the condom.
Yes,
so in
eyes.
2 little gyrations, the next thing you hear pop, and we have an accident, and I have the calls the
By
next day.
accident.
Yes,
Yes.
Ice. And so you have touched 2 more of my points. With the female condom, you have extra lubrication. That's 1. Extra. And you said something else. Oh, and the female condom can be used with both water-based and oil-based lubricant.
Because it is not.
It's polyurethane.
Yes.
It's not,
Very good.
yeah.
Yes. So it's a very good product. And the
good
doctor
option.
will tell you that it's 40 times stronger.
Yes, it's actually 40 times stronger than the male condoms.
Yes. So you can't burst this. You believe your bad eyes? Okay, and it could also be used as a male and female condom. So you use this ring to insert, as I will show you, and you can take it out if your partner doesn't want it to be used as a female condom, and he can use it on his tool, and you see the size. So this
Size,
also
so
takes
everybody
care.
can.
It could use it because it is so lubricated that it will actually stick on it. So this also takes care of the excuse that
Size
it's
issue?
not my size and they are too small. Well, if this can't fit you, then you ladies, you're having sex with a horse. You have to run. so this is good. Yes. Okay.
Anything else on condoms? Because some of this, a lot of this conversation, I think, is kind of heterosexual-ish focused. So let's
Yes,
talk
it
about,
has
a
been.
lot of your clients at MSM.
Yes,
It's the
well,
same,
I work with, or actually,
We work with.
we work with everyone, but some of us do specialize in the key populations. So we would work with people who exchange sex for money. We also work with gay, bisexual males and the females. And in that case, the use of condoms, it has the same purpose,
Right.
but it is a bit different how it is used, right? But it's the same message. Sex is fun, it's to be enjoyed, but protect yourself. Walk with your protection, walk with your lube. If you're going out and you know that as a result of the outing, there will be some sexual activity,
Possibility.
the clear possibility or the expectation. Let's be real. Many of us will be expecting to have sex on Valentine's Day. So be prepared. Walk with your lube. Walk with your condom. Set your rules, your boundaries ahead of time so that people don't get upset with you when you say, no, I am not doing that. Or that is not one of the activities that I partake in. Right? Because they are, and it is fair and good to set the boundaries, right?
And that way you also feel more confident in not being pressured into things. You feel more confident about the no that you're saying because you know what you're about.
And in fact, you don't have to say no because the person knows that that's a no-no.
Yeah. But if they forgot, or if it's spontaneous,
Yes.
In
this
the
can
heat
be
of the
your
moment.
first no, and that first no is perfectly valid. Yeah.
You can actually guard your spontaneity by using the female condom. So that's
Yeah,
ease
so
up
it's
the
like I'm spontaneous,
I am
but not
reckless.
reckless
Right.
or not entirely. There are some things that the things that I can control. I mean, you obviously also will hopefully be able to control the sex, but you know, it's also it's like I can protect myself this much, and that what I have control of is what I will do going
Precisely.
into situations. So the only thing that will be spontaneous is maybe the time. Maybe it might be, I don't know, a spontaneous person. Maybe it's somebody that you've been talking with, but you may not have expected it. But in that way, you are prepared and protected.
And you were speaking about men who have sex with men, and as I grow older, I am learning to take off the labels and just say people. For me, people who engage in anal sex, because we have some heterosexual couples
Yes.
who engage in anal sex, and anal sex carries a higher risk for the transmission of HIV. One, because of
And
what?
other STDs.
Right, right.
Yes.
And other one is because
The thinner walls
the walls
of
are
the
thinner.
rectum.
Two, there is no natural
lubrication.
and three, because the tissues they break easily, and the presence of blood. So we are saying use condoms, and for any anal sex, lubricants
Is
Right.
absolutely
Absolutely
I must.
necessary.
and do
And
you
don't
know?
rely on spit.
No,
Rely
that
on,
that dries up.
okay.
Do you know that
So
that
things that are made to lubricate.
right? This actually works well for anal sex too, you know, because you would just do like this. I know that this is the vagina, but it works both ways. And then you insert it. Do not put in all. If you are a veteran, you know that you never put in all one time. Leave something for emphasis, doc. And then you take your longest finger and you push it up to the lumen and you press on this. And this goes back. And when this goes inside of the woman's vagina, this goes over the cervix. And so it creates that suction. But when it is used in the anus, it also helps with easy positioning. It helps to go in. Remember that it is thinner, and so the man feels this when he goes in, and that gives added pleasure. So we have to make condoms fun. Explore. This Valentine's, if you're having sex, explore. There are so many brands
True.
of condoms. Find which one works for you. There are so many. Yes?
I
You
was
were gonna
going to
ask.
say before we go into a wrap up, well, and
Wow.
now obviously have to say any final words. I want to make sure you have time to say any critical
You
points that
finish
you wanted
already?
to say. But with the female condom, how does lubrication work? Do you
Well-
need extra lubricant, and how do you use that extra lubricant
Well,
with the female
as it
condom?
stands, it is well lubricated, more than the average. However, if you feel that you need more, you can put it inside of the condom itself, and then you can put it on the outskirts. And it's
Okay.
nice.
Okay. Thank you.
And also, you remember that even with this is also like a stimulant.
Yes.
It stimulates the clitoris.
Yes.
All right. To increase more pleasure.
We
For the
ain't even
female.
reached the clitoris conversation yet,
I
so
know,
let's-
and it's
Yes.
time. It's time
Let's
to
stay
finish.
here. Let's
Let's
stay
stay for
here so
tonight?
long, because that's a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Clitoris. It's a couple episodes itself. So, well, this is my final question, but you can bring
Use it
in
to
any
wrap up.
other things you want to ensure that people know. I know y'all are having an activity
Yes.
as well. So, what can people do on and before Valentine's Day to reduce? We started talking about, the possible fear. I think you said that you get a lot of frantic calls after Valentine's Day. How can we help to reduce
Right.
some of that? And of course, it's not necessarily about getting tested on Thursday and thinking that you're okay
You're cleared
Right.
for
for Friday.
Friday.
No, we spoke
But
about
what
that.
are some things that people can do on Valentine's Day to reduce some of that fear on Monday?
Stock up. Stock up on your condoms. All right. So yeah, stock up before you
Cock up.
you
Oh.
cock
That's
up.
what somebody said. That's what somebody told me yesterday.
show you.
Nurse, I'm coming to stock up before I.
Cock up. So it's important that you have all your stock, because if you have your stock, you are comfortable and confident that you are. If anything happens, you have something to protect yourself. Or but if you're out of the stock, and when the act comes, then you feel this, frustrated, and sometimes you want to take the risk. You understand? Because sometimes we forget to think with our big head. We allow the small head to think for us, and as such, we make rational decisions that will be detrimental to our health and to our lives generally. So ensure that you stock up, because that will greatly help you in these Valentine's. And also it's still also good to get tested anyway, just to
course,
boost
so
your
that you know
confidence.
where you
that,
are
hey,
before.
listen, I know where I am, and I feel I am aware of what I have in me, at least, even if it's not 100%, but at least I know that, yes, I am good. That builds up my confidence, and also I have my condoms in case of any necessary emergency.
I want to also say that do not feel pressured into anything. So abstinence is still a viable option. Not because everybody seems as if they're doing it. You are an individual, and your feelings and your preferences should be respected. And I want to throw in this for my audience, because remember, at the end of the day, that you have to give an account for every action.
And don't do things just because you want to please people. Don't displace yourself, put yourself in a risky position because you want to please people. I have had a client that the first time she had sex, that first time, once,
Is all it takes.
and that was it. And the next time she got to get tested, she was exposed to HIV. And so it doesn't matter. You have to start thinking with your head. You start loving with your head and with your heart, and not just with what is down there. Because when you start thinking more of yourself and how to protect yourself, you love even better, because you are more informed and you're making a well-informed decision for yourself and for the person. The person may not be happy at that short time because they don't have the condoms and they want to say, oh, let's try something new, go without the condom. And you said no. They may not be happy with you at that time, but they will respect you and always come back to you because they know that you're health conscious. And we are encouraging the public to ensure that you take your health very serious. Your health is your responsibility. So one mistake can cost you your life, and one wrong decision can cost you a lifetime friendship to STI that can never leave you.
And sex is never sex on its own. It has consequences. It has physical consequences,
Psychological.
emotional, psychological, mental. So before you do anything on Valentine's Day, when you see that red, you just know that you are to stop. Consider what you are about to do. Decide intelligently and then take action. And for my Christian audience, I don't do anything that I can do if God cannot come and catch me and I feel safe. Right? As long as you can pray before you do it, leave it alone. In Jesus' name. What's your point now? Yes, Ali.
Excuse me. Well, I was simply going to re-emphasize the point about being mindful. Many of my clients, I have run the gamut from very young to seniors. And I'm more concerned about the younger people because peer pressure encourages younger folk to experiment. The younger folk are more exposed to pornography and what they see on
And they don't
on
use
porn.
condom.
When HIV came up, well, I'm old enough to remember, there was a shift to every sex act, there was a condom in play. Now, that has gone again because now, in as much as there's no cure for HIV, at least the medication suppresses it and you can live a normal life. But in my view, that is not a reason for you to just go out there and have sex willy-nilly without protection and say, well, if I get it, at least the medication is free and it's very effective, which is true, right? But
Prevention is
just the word of caution, enjoy Valentine's Day. Go out, have fun, have great, wonderful sex, but protect yourself.
Yes.
That's it.
Ounce of prevention is
better than a pound of cure.
You know, and it is important that we know that, and we actually, for the young folks, I'm telling you this, it's important that we know this, because one big mistake you have a friend for life that you can't really, end with. And this medication, yes, it's free, it's available to bring a viral load, but all medication, as I already indicated, have side effects. And some of the side effects are not pleasant at all. All right, and you must take it to actually have a viral load suppressed.
It is still a lifestyle
so it's still a lifestyle change that not everybody have been so comfortable to really, suit in completely to that lifestyle change. And it's very challenging. So we encourage people, protect yourself. It doesn't matter how young you are, you can still protect yourself.
And
on Friday.
Sorry, but before we read that quickly, Iceman spoke of young people, and I just want to throw out that word of caution. Our school children, they are going through some changes. It's called puberty. Please, I'm appealing to our men to leave our young girls alone and let them know. But I want to say no, that there are a lot of women out there wanting a man. Please feel free, but leave our young girls alone. That's another show, but I have to say it here. Yeah.
So
Okay.
on Friday we will be having
Thursday.
on Thursday. Sorry, on Thursday is known as International Condom Day, and in recognition to that, the Ministry of Health, the National Secretary Ministry of Health, will be conducting a condom distribution for that day. So we'll be at the square from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come out and get a condom, and it is free. And lubricant, it is free. All right, so come with your partners, get it, and just stop shying away from getting protection. It shows that you're responsible. It shows that you're health conscious. It shows that you're willing to love right. So come
And
on
informed,
and see yourself and get yourself 1 or 2 condoms and make sure that Valentine is one of a kind,
Yeah.
that you well protected.
I love
One
that.
or two.
Packs.
Packs. Yeah, I love that too because it means that from midnight hit, you're prepared. If that
Yes.
is how seriously,
Yes.
how seriously. you're
For when the
taking it.
hurricane comes.
Yeah, there is a reason why condoms generally come in packs of 3, right?
Because phones of
The
the rule of 3.
Yes.
The rule of 3. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you to my repeat guests for always being willing to join me from the Ministry of Health. We are building a close partnership here. And yeah, I'm just encouraging all of you to come out to the square on Thursday 9 to 2 p.m. As we like to say, anything free, take 2. And if you come in 3, you take 2, that's 6.
6.
You know, if it come, it's just, there's no reason not to, right? So it's important for us to find ourselves there to take advantage of the services that are available to us, to ask questions, because you might have a lot of... there might be things that you are wondering about when it comes to the Ministry of Health services that they provide, concerns that you might have, questions about your current health status, and you have experts here who can help you, who are able to meet you wherever you are. And we're talking emotionally, but also literally and geographically meet you where you are to provide the care that we all deserve to live healthy and fulfilling, pleasurable lives. As usual, I'm grateful for you joining me for another Tuesday night, another episode of Pleasure Pulse, and I will wish you a pleasurable evening and see you all next Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you.